Hey everyone, and welcome to Basmanstudio. In this new lesson, I'm going to go over how to draw a tree. So it's going to be a lot of fun, and actually I'm going to show you how to draw it in plein air. So I'm going to be outside drawing, and I'll go over the steps necessary, etc. So it'll help your art branch out, and you'll really enjoy it. So thanks for watching, sit back and relax, and let's start this new video from Basmanstudio. And here we are in beautiful Central Park. This is going to be our view that we're going to draw. It's a beautiful view on a kind of an overcast day, but so as you can see, the first thing for me to do is to find a comfortable place to sit and create. So comfort's important. So try to find the shady place where you're going to be comfortable, because you know you're going to be sitting there for quite a while drawing. And here are my materials, my black chalk or charcoal and my white chalk. So everything is ready. So you want to have your materials ready. And as you can see, I started out very simply. As I went over in previous lessons, you want to keep everything simple and open with no detail. And in this case, where you have this kind of a vast landscape on a large piece of paper, you want to go all around the paper and you want to look at everything and not focus on one single thing. I believe that the mistake that some people do is that they focus so much on one thing, like they want to get something, that one thing so correct that they neglect everything else. So try to look at everything. Don't focus on just a one tree, but look at how that tree is being, how it's pushing forward by the foliage behind it, by the trees behind it. How do the trees behind it work, work with that tree? How does that green push the other green forward, etc.? So you can see I'm keeping things very simple. I'm not doing any detail. I'm just putting in the big basic shapes. And I have a large sheet of paper, so it helps me to think large and to draw like these large shapes, almost like a movie set, movie screen, like a film set. So you want to think of it like kind of like in a stage kind of way where it looks like a movie set. And just adding a little bit of detail, but not much, such as the bark of the tree, just to give it more solidity. And you can see it's starting to have a little bit more of a solid structure, which is what we want. And little by little, I'll just get a little darker, but I'm keeping it pretty light right now. And just putting a little bit of the shading, but just enough, not too much. And little by little, you just want to get, I'm not getting too dark. This is what we call the mid-tone. This is just enough shading to show form. And you can see it's coming together a little bit more, little by little. So patience is the key here. And now you can see it's getting a little darker. And now the drawing has more solidity. So you see you start very light and you just slowly get a little darker as you get more confident, and you know that all the shapes are where they should be and the light source is where it should be. And I'm using this toned paper, so it beautifully helps accentuate the darks and the lights. I recommend that you try it. You could buy anything from gray to this beautiful like tan paper that I'm using. And then I have everything down. I could start with the darkest darks. And adding any small detail that I might have missed. And just going over just a few things. And you can see now I could make the tree slightly darker to pull it forward a little bit more. My intention is for the tree to have like a very solid structure. And this takes a little bit of practice, but once you get confident, it's a great way of finishing a drawing. And just going over and making things slightly darker, little by little, making the shading a little bit darker. So the key here is to keep things very simple for a very long time until the very end, till you're sure everything is there as it should be. And now I could add some of the small details, such as the branches. And you can see it has more solidity now. So now I could go as far as I want with the drawing. I could add more detail. I could keep it in a very sketchy state if I wish. And being that this is an overcast day, the shadows are not very strong, very subtle. And you can see it has more form now. Now I'm just doing the very, very last details on the trees. And getting pretty dark. And the beauty of charcoal is that you can get these beautiful, very dark passages by just pressing down a little bit harder. Charcoal is a beautiful medium. It's been used for centuries by artists. So give it a try if you can. You could get them either in pieces like I do, or you could get them in pencil form, which is also great. And I have to stress again that good paper also makes a difference. So if you can't get good paper, good quality paper, especially for charcoal, it does help with your drawing. You don't want to fight your materials. You want to get good materials. You don't have to get too expensive, but get good enough materials where you're not struggling with them. And you can see now I'm just adding a bit of the last details. Now this is my choice to add these. I could stop whenever I want now. Now that I know all the forms are there, I could just keep going as far as I want. And as I enjoy myself drawing, I tend to forget time passing by, and I start adding more detail than I intended. But it's part of the joys of art is that you start enjoying what you're doing a lot, and you lose track of time. So you can see the tree has a very big solid structure right now. And remember, be brave about it. Don't, if it's expressive. So now I'm going to use my white chalk, as you can see. And now with this white chalk, I'm going to add the final small lights, let's say in the whites in the clouds. And this is going to push out. This is going to push out my tree, or the branches, and the foliage. Again, I'm using this tone paper, which is beautiful for using white chalk. Again, highly recommended if you wish to try it. And you can see the white, as subtle as it is very much like giving it more of a more life to the drawing. And just going over and putting a few lights, even some reflected light, but I'm not going overboard with the white, just where in a few areas. And it gives it more of a finished look, I believe, as well. It's also very enjoyable to use, so very much recommended. And even the reflected light on the tree, I could just add a little white just to give it a little bit more of a three-dimensional quality to it, which is also really fun to do. And just the last few details, adding any darks that I might have missed before. Maybe exaggerate a little bit. And expanding the drawing as the paper is horizontal, just making it a little larger. And here we have it. Here's our finished drawing in plein air. Well, I hope you enjoyed that lesson from Basmanstudio. And if you have any questions or comments, anything related to the video or anything art related, please let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. Also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to see new videos coming very soon from Basmanstudio. To those who have subscribed, I thank you very much. And if you have any ideas for art lessons that you'd like me to cover that I haven't covered, please let me know that as well. Also, if you get a chance, I have a new workshop on Masterpiece Art School, where I have a 3-video workshop on learning how to paint portraits and landscapes. So check that out. I'll put a link in the description below so you can check it out. And have a great and amazing day. Remember, be creative, be brave, don't let fear stop you. And I'll see you next time at Basmanstudio. Have an amazing and creative day, everyone.